It was a calm afternoon in a small, upscale boutique tucked into a quiet shopping plaza. Soft music played through the speakers. The shelves were lined with expensive handbags, jewelry, and designer clothes. The kind of place where every item had a tiny price tag that most people didn't even want to look at. The store was nearly empty. Only the store manager, Mr. Randall, and a young cashier stood behind the counter, bored and scrolling on her phone. The quiet broke when the door chimed. A black teenager, maybe 17, stepped in. His name was Malik. He wore a gray hoodie, clean sneakers, and jeans. He didn't say anything, just looked around politely, and started browsing one of the shelves near the front. Mr. Randall spotted him right away. He didn't like the look of Malik. Maybe it was the hoodie, or maybe it was just the fact that he was alone. Either way, Mr. Randall's eyes narrowed. He walked over quickly. "Can I help you with something?" he asked, his voice flat and sharp. Malik looked up, a bit surprised. "No sir, I'm just looking," he said with a polite smile. Mr. Randall didn't smile back. "Well, if you're not planning on buying anything, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. We don't allow loitering." Malik blinked. His smile faded. "Okay," he said softly. He turned and walked toward the door, his steps quiet. He didn't argue, but if anyone had been watching closely, they might have seen the way his shoulders slumped just a little, and the sadness in his eyes. As the door closed behind him, Mr. Randall shook his head and muttered, "Kids these days." As Malik disappeared through the door, Mr. Randall straightened his tie and let out a quiet sigh of relief. He felt like he had handled the situation just right. This was his store, and he wasn't about to let anyone cause trouble or scare away customers. He turned to the cashier, who was still leaning on the counter. "See, better safe than sorry," he said, nodding with a small smile. "You never know what kind of trouble some kids can bring in." The cashier shrugged, but said nothing. Mr. Randall didn't care. He was proud of himself for being cautious. It wasn't about race, he told himself. Just about keeping the store safe. "Loitering," he muttered, shaking his head. "They think they can just hang around, take up space without buying a thing. I've seen it before. Always a problem." He glanced out the window and spotted Malik walking across the parking lot. The boy kept his head down, moving quickly toward the street. Mr. Randall smirked and leaned closer to the glass, watching him disappear. "Good, hope he thinks twice before coming back here," he said quietly. Satisfied, Mr. Randall turned back inside. Business was safe, order was kept, or so he thought. Malik walked across the parking lot, his steps steady but quiet. Just as he reached the edge of the lot, he stopped. Parked there was a sleek black luxury car, a brand new Mercedes-Benz, shining in the afternoon sun. It was the kind of car that didn't belong to just anyone. Mr. Randall, still inside the store, noticed the car too. His face shifted from smug confidence to something else, confusion, maybe even a bit of shock. He watched as Malik approached the car, reached out, and opened the driver's door. Without thinking, Mr. Randall rushed outside, wiping his hands on his pants as he walked fast toward Malik. "Hey, wait. I'm sorry about before," he said quickly, forcing a polite smile. "There must have been some misunderstanding." Malik looked up at him calmly. "I was just looking for a birthday gift for my mom," he said quietly, his voice steady. Mr. Randall swallowed hard. He realized he had misjudged the boy. "Well, maybe I can help you find something special," he offered, trying to sound friendly and welcoming now. "I could give you a personal tour of the store." Malik smiled politely but shook his head. "Thank you, but that's okay," he said softly. Then he climbed into the driver's seat of the Mercedes. Just then, the door of a nearby spa opened, and a woman stepped out. She was dressed sharply in a tailored suit, calm and confident. Her eyes met Mr. Randall's, and she gave him a sharp, measured glance. It was Malik's mom. Mr. Randall suddenly felt small standing there. The woman closed the passenger door with quiet authority, and the car pulled away, leaving Mr. Randall frozen in the parking lot, realizing he had made a mistake he couldn't easily fix. As the car pulled to a stop near the street, the woman, Dr. Tanya Blake, turned to Malik with calm eyes. Mr. Randall's heart sank. He recognized her immediately. Dr. Blake was one of the most respected surgeons in the city, known for her work at the hospital and her public efforts to help the community. She was a well-known figure, admired by many. She opened her door and walked slowly back toward the store, her heels clicking on the pavement. Mr. Randall forced himself to stay upright, trying to meet her steady gaze. "What happened back there?" Dr. Blake asked Malik quietly. Malik looked up at his mother, and then at Mr. Randall. "The manager asked me to leave," he said simply. "He said I was just looking, and shouldn't be here unless I planned to buy something." Dr. Blake's eyes didn't flash with anger or frustration. Instead, she looked directly at Mr. Randall, her voice calm but firm. "We were actually considering buying your entire front display for a charity auction," she said slowly, as if weighing every word. "But after that, I don't think we will." Mr. Randall's face went pale. He tried to recover quickly. "Wait, Dr. Blake, please," he said, stepping forward. "I'm very sorry. Maybe I overreacted. If you want, I can offer a discount. A special deal. Please don't take your business elsewhere." Dr. Blake shook her head. "No, thank you. We will find another place that welcomes all customers. I hope you learn to do the same." With that, she turned and walked back to the car. Malik got in behind the wheel, and the car pulled away smoothly. Mr. Randall stood frozen on the sidewalk, watching the taillights disappear down the street. The weight of his mistake pressed down on him. For the first time he understood the true cost of his quick judgment, and that sometimes pride was the hardest thing to lose. As the car disappeared down the street, the story shifted away from Mr. Randall's regret, and toward Malik's life, one that many people outside his neighborhood never took the time to understand. Malik wasn't just any teenager. At school he was known for his good grades and quiet determination. He was the kind of kid who helped his classmates with homework and volunteered after school, not because anyone asked, but because he wanted to make a difference. At home, Malik helped his mom, Dr. Tanya Blake, with small chores. She worked long hours as a surgeon, saving lives every day. Malik admired her, but he also knew how hard she worked to provide for him. Their house wasn't flashy, but it was full of love, respect, and hope. Despite their success and hard work, Malik often faced judgment. People saw his hoodie and sneakers first, not the son of a respected doctor. Strangers whispered when he walked down the street. Store owners watched him like he was a threat before they knew his name. But Malik never let the unfair treatment break him. He learned to carry himself with quiet strength, kindness, and patience. He knew that sometimes the world didn't see beneath the surface, but he believed that one day, actions would speak louder than appearances. That day, though, had not yet come. Not long after Malik left the store, someone who had been shopping nearby took out their phone and quietly recorded the entire scene. The video showed Malik being asked to leave, his calm reaction, and then the shocking moment when the luxury car appeared. Within hours, the video was everywhere, on social media, news sites, and community forums. People shared it with angry comments, calling out the store for racial profiling and unfair treatment. The boutique's phone began ringing non-stop. Customers canceled appointments and posted bad reviews online. The owners of the store released a statement, saying they regretted any misunderstanding but didn't directly address the deeper issue. Mr. Randall was called out in private meetings and by the store's management. They told him his behavior was unacceptable and that he had damaged the store's reputation. But the damage had already spread far beyond the boutique's walls. Local news stations covered the story. Some reporters even interviewed Malik and Dr. Blake, who spoke calmly but clearly about the pain and frustration caused by such incidents. Through it all, Malik stayed quiet, not angry but hopeful that sharing his experience might help change things. Meanwhile, Mr. Randall watched the fallout from his mistake, realizing that no amount of handling would fix what had been broken in those few moments. Back at home, Malik sat quietly on the couch. His mom, Dr. Tanya Blake, placed a warm hand on his shoulder. The day's events had left a heavy feeling in the air. "You're okay, right?" she asked softly. Malik nodded, but the sadness in his eyes didn't disappear. "It still hurts, Mom. Even though I stayed calm, it's hard not to feel like they don't see me." Dr. Blake smiled gently. I know, baby. People will always try to judge by what they see on the outside. But you have to remember, you are more than their assumptions. She looked at him with pride and quiet strength. Don't let their mistakes make you bitter, let your kindness and grace be your power. Malik looked up, hope shining faintly. I want to believe that. Together they made a decision. Instead of returning to that store, they would donate gifts to a local youth center, a place where kids could feel welcome and safe. It was a small way to turn pain into something good. Days later, Malik was at the youth center, helping a younger boy with his homework. The boy smiled as Malik patiently explained a math problem. In that moment, Malik's calm kindness became a quiet force, one that wouldn't be stopped by judgment or hate. The story ended with a soft voice reminding everyone who listened. Don't judge a book by its cover, and never underestimate the quiet strength behind a calm smile.